Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum students. How are you all? I hope and pray that you all will be fine, inshallah. This is Unit 4 Forest. We have been studied few topics from this topic. Today we are going to start next topic, that is a revision topic also. And the topic is conservation and sustainable development of mangrove forests. We have studied already about the term conservation and sustainable development of fishing resources. Today we are going to start the same topic with reference to mangrove forests. So first we'll see that what is conservation. Conservation means prevention of wasteful use of our resources. So conservation is the careful maintenance and upkeep of a natural resource to prevent it from disappearing. A natural resource is the physical supply of something that exists in nature, such as soil, water, air, plants, animals, and energy. Such development that is conducted without depletion of natural resources is considered as conservation. International policies should support sustainable development. The concept of sustainable development refers to such development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The damage to the coastal ecosystem. In Pakistan, the damage to coastal ecosystem is a major concern nowadays because we have constructed dams and barrages on upstream, and that is resulting into low discharge of water from the rivers into the sea like Indus River. This has reduced the quantity of silt brought from the mountains and plains towards the Arabian Sea. So this silt together with the flow of fresh water contributes to the fertility and expansion of the delta and the growth and sustainability of mangroves and marine habitat. So we need to address this issue on very serious grounds. Now we'll see what are the factors which are causing damage to marine ecosystem, especially in Arabian Sea. The first one is the cutting of mangroves for fodder and firewood. We are recklessly cutting mangrove forests without considering the future consequences of this reckless cutting. The second one is seawater pollution. Again, we are contributing in seawater pollution by our irresponsible attitudes and behaviors. The next one is the removal of sand from the beaches. We are removing sand from beaches for construction purposes and some other purposes. And the next one is the reclamation of beaches for constructing buildings and roads. Likewise, we are also reclaiming land by cutting mangrove forests on the coastal areas, and we are constructing buildings and roads over there. And in this way, we are damaging coastal and marine ecosystem. These factors which are causing damage to marine ecosystem become an added threat to our coast. As a result, an environment extremely important for the growth and health of marine resources has also been vanishing fast. So we are disturbing the marine ecosystem through environmental disturbances by cutting mangrove forests. Moreover, the fishing communities experience the worst disaster when tropical cyclones hit coastal areas. Now there is absence of the fringe line of mangrove forests. That's why these areas are vulnerable to tropical cyclones, and the tidal waves and rainstorms knocked down their shanty homes, destroying all their belongings. The losses could have been reduced if the coast had been fringed with mangroves. So we need to fringe the coastal line of Pakistan with Arabian Sea with the mangrove forest so that we can protect our coastal areas from these types of threats like tropical cyclones, tidal waves, and rainstorms, etc. Then we'll see that how mangroves are a blessing of nature. Mangroves provide a nursery for shrimps, crabs, and several species of fish. Moreover, the fallen leaves and twigs of mangroves give rise to a fertile and beautiful habitat in the estuaries. We have studied that an estuary is an arm of the sea at the mouth of a river. So fish and shrimps are nursed in these estuaries, which are home for them. The mangrove forests also produce honey from the blossoms of the Avicenna marina species, constituting 95% of the mangrove lining our coast. Avicenna marina, commonly known as grey mangroves or white mangrove, is a species of a mangrove tree which are found in Pakistan, and that is one of the most important and best species of mangrove forest found in world. The next one is that there are certain organizations which are working for the conservation and sustainable development of not only mangrove forests but also for nature. Such organization is like WWF and IUCN. First, we'll see the IUCN, that stands for International Union for the Conservation of Nature. IUCN has been working for the protection, conservation, and rehabilitation of the ecosystem and its resources. It started a project for planting mangroves in coordination with Sindh Forest Department in the late 1980s. However, the work carried out so far is not enough. It is essential that other related government departments and NGOs should play a positive role by contributing effectively towards the conservation, protection, and rehabilitation of mangroves in the coastal ecosystem. So, IUCN is not enough to work in this sector. IUCN is the world's oldest and largest global environmental organization that influence, encourage, and assist societies throughout the world to conserve the integrity and diversity of nature and to ensure endangered and valuable species to be saved, that any use of natural resources is equitable and ecologically sustainable. So we need to support IUCN as IUCN is supporting us to conserve our resources. So now we'll see that how mangroves are considered the coastal wealth of Pakistan. Pakistan has the fifth largest mangrove ecosystem in the world, and that is a major proportion in the world. First we'll see that which are the threats being faced by mangrove forests in Pakistan. Like in world, construction of dams and barrages, as we have studied earlier, upstream on the river Indus stop the supply of nutrition-rich silt. That is a major threat towards the mangrove forest in Pakistan, as you are observing from this picture as well. The second one, which is the most important also, that is municipal waste and sewage dumped into the mangrove area poisons these mangrove forests. You can see that we have dumped domestic waste as well as industrial waste and industrial sewage water over here on coastal areas, which is endangering mangrove forests and causing destruction and damage of it. Then, as we have discussed, IUCN now will study one more such organization, that is called as WWF, World Wildlife Fund for Nature or Worldwide Fund for Nature. So it has a number of projects not only in Pakistan but all around the world, and not only for mangrove forest but all the resources which are related to nature. So a WWF project focuses on replanting mangrove forests and creating awareness for their sustainable use. The WWF has developed two mangrove nurseries and has planted 10,000 saplings. Sapling means small plants. Four locally managed nurseries are in operation. That is a good contribution, a major contribution. And WWF is also planting 40 acres of mangrove plantations in Pakistan and construction of a fully equipped wetland center. That is a major, you can say, such plan which will be very helpful to conserve mangrove forests in Pakistan. Students, now this is time to see the worksheet, and our today's worksheet is about conservation and sustainable development of mangrove forests. Question number one is study the given figure showing the construction of dams and barrages upstream, and we'll discuss that how construction of these dams and barrages is damaging to the coastal ecosystem. You will answer this question with reference to the video lesson which we have discussed, that construction of dams and barrages is causing less supply of silt to the downstream in Arabian Sea. The next one is the mangrove forest resources have been vanishing fast due to certain factors. Discuss them. We'll see that how the cutting of mangrove for fodder and firewood, seawater pollution and removal of sand from the beaches, and the reclamation of beaches for constructing buildings and roads are causing vanishing of mangrove forest resources. Next question is, do you think that mangroves are great blessing of nature? Briefly describe. We'll describe that mangroves provide a nursery for shrimps, crabs, and several species of fish. Fallen leaves and twigs of mangrove give rise to a fertile and beautiful habitat in the estuaries and so on. And the next question is, mangroves are coastal wealth of Pakistan. What are the threats being faced by these resources? We'll answer this question with reference to Pakistan. And the next question is, what does IUCN stand for? Discuss the role of IUCN in conservation and sustainable development of mangrove forests, especially in Pakistan. Thank you so very much, students. Have a very nice day. May Allah bless you all. Allah Hafiz.